Round 19 of the Lewis Hamilton career mode on F1 24 brings us to the circuit of the Americas for the Texas Grand Prix. Now guys, if you haven't seen the previous video at Singapore, go check it out. Honestly, absolutely mental. Up and down race, dodgy strategy, 2 safety cars, it had a bit of everything. So go watch it, link in the top right, spoiler warning ahead in the next 3 seconds. But let's get into the recap from that race. So starting off with the accolades, we actually picked up our first accolade. 350 race starts for Lewis Hamilton in Formula 1. Also, we won our rivalry versus Charles Leclerc, getting 4,200 focus points, but not just that, 6,500 experience points, and just generally a whole lot of leveling up, which does bring our overall rating finally to level 92, hence the victory in the rivalry versus Leclerc. So a big moment in this season, and the biggest jump I've had all year in terms of, overall rating XP. So recognition unchanged, and then also specialist goals, we do tick off a few other ones and gradually, leveling up and making those levels nice and high. So we now jump into upgrades and the post-race fallout, and there's a few options here. We actually unlocked a lot of upgrades over the last race weekend. A few upgrades have arrived on Russell's side. I'm basically holding back my points because I'm waiting to see if there's any failures, which we are getting on the MG UK, and the repurchasing is pretty damn expensive. So we've got a triple header on the way, so a lot of these upgrades are going to arrive after the break. We purchased a chassis update, and we have a lot of air updates as well, but there is that regulation change hanging over our head, and we still don't know where that's going to be. So in the meantime, we're going to go to specialists. Now originally I chose to complete 4 sessions without damaging my car on the manufacturing expert, but I thought about it, and we are going to change components. So we're going to do 6 laps using at least 3 different engine components during a race weekend. As you'll see in a minute, we're going to basically run practice with an old power unit and then update to a few fresher components for the rest of this sprint weekend, which has extra running, extra qualifying, extra race, and just generally we're going to need the extra power to be competitive. So in the meantime, we did our power unit specialist, now the material fabrication planner, and now finally the strategy analyst, and we're going to perfect one practice program during a race weekend. So specialist done, everything locked in. Here is the championship heading into this race. Now we have our biggest lead of the season so far. Verstappen made a massive mistake in Singapore. Again, check it out in the previous episode, but it really opened things up for us in that race, and you can see just the form table. We've been red hot, for the last couple of races now. We're just looking really good, and we now have that biggest margin to max we've had in quite a while. So yeah, at the minute we need 14 more points to win the rivalry versus Verstappen, and that should hopefully give us also another big points boost like I did with Leclerc a moment ago, and potentially take us all the way to level 93 if it's that good. So yeah, with that done, forecast wise, we have rain in the sprint, which I'm not looking forward to it, but we'll see what happens. Kota is a track that I don't actually mind too much. I prefer it in the dry than in the wet, but still, it is what it is. Here is the performance chart this weekend. McLaren bring upgrades, so do we. Aston Martin, Red Bull closed the gap. Ferrari now dropping back a little bit, which is a bit of a concern for next season. Speaking of which, confirmation, finally, the aerodynamics are affected by the reg change for next year. So, it's looking likely we go to Ferrari. So, hopefully they take care of business and they give us a good car next year. Either way, for now we're going to jump into practice, and we're still in Mercedes colours, driving the W15, which could be a championship winning car if all goes according to plan, because right now we're leading both championships, and I can't lie, it's been a joy to drive this car. I've loved it. So anyway, closing out our race simulation runs in practice on lap number 5 across the line.
Well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can take you through the numbers.
We had a smooth session, tyre wear below average, fuel consumption I would say just slightly above average, but generally not too bad. Pace wise, we got pretty much faster on a lap by lap basis, a bit of an off lap on lap 4, but generally got more comfortable with the car. The tyres held up pretty well and we had good pace. We finished FP1 in 17th place on the hard compound tyres, 1.6 seconds off P1. I didn't use DRS like always to kind of mimic race conditions, And of course, only had one practice session, so we didn't really get a ton of points. I was trying to save some engine components as we are very, very marginal on those. And we already took a grid drop a few races back, and we're cutting it fine to not take another from now until the final race of the season. If we have a single failure, it's going to mean another grid drop. So at the minute, we're trying to stretch everything out and make it work. So fresh MGUK, MGUH, and ICE for this weekend and the rest of the season.
The party in the USA continues right now. The Circuit of the Americas, undulating, high speed, downright thrilling. It is time for qualifying to set the grid for the Grand Prix.
Now we jump into sprint qualifying, SQ1. Medium tyres on our car like always, and currently going purple through the middle sector. So far, clean lap, no big mistakes, just trying to get comfortable, ramping up the performance, running hot lap, using DRS, less fuel in the car, and kind of, taking the sandbags away. Traffic gets out the way nicely as we make our way through the penultimate corner, now into the final corner, third gear, lots of inside curb as we now open DRS, over the line we go, and it's a 130.7 straight to the top on mediums. Very good lap, very good pace, car looking and feeling good. And yeah, you can see here, there's one man missing, and that is Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. The surprise elimination, Stroll just making it through in 15th. They gambled on mediums and it backfired. So big surprise in SQ1 because the McLaren is the strongest car. So not having Piastri around is really interesting. Into SQ2, currently fresh off the back of a purple middle sector again. A bit more traffic on this one, but they're just a bit further up the road, so they're not quite going to get in the way as they peel off into the pits. A 130.7 we did in the first session. What is this going to be? Up to the line. 130.7 again, just a little bit quicker, but P1 once more, and it's looking pretty good for us to hopefully go for pole. The pace is ominous. You can see again everyone running mediums, and the Alpine splitting a top 10 with Gasly missing out on mediums. Of course, a spot up for grabs with Piastri's elimination, and Ocon is the one to take it. So into Q3, we've got a set of softs, and we're going to go for a single flying lap, and we're going to see if we can try and deliver. So at the final corner, DRS open as we run up towards turn number 1. Spot the black box on the right hand side and also the white line. Brake down to third gear. We run in a bit deep there, didn't quite get the apex. We get the car turned pretty well and get good traction on exit, but we lost a bit on entry, so we're going to be a bit down in the first sector. This is all flat, and then now you take a bit of a downshift through the second part of the S's, but generally the car is working super well, and really good downforce levels, and it's super planted where it needs to be. Through the top of the S section now, highest part of the track, now back downhill into the hairpin, brake at about 65 meters down to third, pick up a late apex which gives you the ability to square off and get a nice exit out of the hairpin, and now you open the DRS down the long back straight. Take a breather, prepare the braking zone, you want to aim for the 100 on the right, so bring the car over, down to third, on the anchors, cut this curb a little bit, you can get away with that one, and then now into sector 3, we go purple on the minimap in sector 2, 6/10 up on Charles Leclerc. Feed the car through, important to have good mechanical grip. We run in a little bit deep there for that second apex, and we just missed the apex there as a consequence. So now flat out through the triple rights, keeping a bit of a tighter line to recover some lap time, and now the penultimate corner, going in blind, kiss your apex, run the track limits, and now the final corner, down to third. A bit of a correction on the curb there as we then open DRS, up to the line we go, and it's second place behind George Russell. So it seems like a Mercedes front row lockout, and indeed it is. Verstappen P4 and Norris splits us, so a very close top 5 in the end, and the AI really ramping up their pace compared to Q1 or SQ1 and SQ2. So yeah, everyone on the softs, everyone's showing their cards in the end, and Russell on pole with a 130.1, so just shy of a sub 1 minute 30 lap time. So I'll take it. Decent result. We out-qualify Max, and we've got Russell to work with us, so that's absolutely fine. And yeah, qualifying done. Let's get into the sprint.
It's wet here today, and we're expecting the downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. It's 10 to the left and 10 to the right. I'm not talking about a line dance, I'm talking about the corners here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas, overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and turn 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track, but we may well see cars struggle to slow down there today as the wet weather interferes with the low grip speed. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Ocon, Gasly, Ricciardo, Bottas, Albon, Joe, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Sargent, Tsunoda, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We will soon find out.
Sprint time at the Circuit of the Americas. Russell on pole, Verstappen P4, Norris Alonso in the mix. As always, we have a lot of rain. It's actually heavy rain right now, but it is scheduled to dry up.
The radar showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain. So the rain's easing off a bit, but the track is still going to be wet for a while. Be careful. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
So that gives you an idea of what we're working with here. So yeah, at the minute we're just trying to get the tyres warmed up. The sprint will probably be entirely inters. I don't think we'll actually hit dries. So let's see what our pace is like in the wet. Here we go. Mercedes 1-2 at the Circuit of the Americas. Uphill climb into 1. Not a good start. Oh, we'll spin like crazy. Verstappen gets a flying start. We're going to try and re-challenge up the inside. Maybe damage. MFD's flashed up. Norris holds second. Russell holds first. But Verstappen not able to get past Norris, but still gaining a place on us, of course. Vehicle condition.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Okay, we're safe. So just a minor bit of contact. Feel like I'm a bit low on tyre temperature. Just struggling to find the grip at this stage. AI very fast, very racy. Let's see if we can try and hopefully get these tyres switched on. Sector 2 and Sector 3 is where we're pretty strong. So let's try and stick with the front three here. Verstappen though, at the minute getting the jump. Not ideal. The pace is really strong at the moment. We just cannot find anything. Alonso's pressuring me. Verstappen and Norris putting pressure on George, and we run deep into turn 1. We'll just recover it on the exit, but I feel like I've just got no grip at the minute. We're going purple in the middle sector, but we're not making any ground. We're actually losing time, so everyone else is probably going purple. And we'll see a flood of purple laps right now. Yeah, 3/10 off Norris.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Don't really have an answer right now. Literally just trying to find some different lines or get something to work. Maybe if the rain eases off, we might be a bit better in the lighter rain conditions. Okay, that was a better lap. Finally a bit of progress. There we go, that's more like it. We've now dropped into lighter rain conditions. It's not as heavy as the beginning of the race, and we're starting to get a bit quicker. Maybe Norris and Verstappen are faster, but they're stuck behind Russell. The AI just unable to overtake without DRS. Gained a lot into the hairpin there. We are very good on the brakes. I think our pace isn't incredible because Alonso's still sticking with me quite easily. I just think, like I said, Russell's starting to hold everybody up. Almost running into Max there. Norris putting pressure on George. Trying to find a way through now though. Got a flag behind possibly.
Right, there's a big incident in front of you. Red flag, red flag. We'll update you in the pits.
So red flag, first one of the season. I feel like we haven't had a safety car well, we didn't have a safety car all season long until I think 2 races ago. And then we've had consecutive safety cars, and now we've had our first red flag. So it seems like we're now getting everything that we may have had during the season in terms of drama at once. So let's see if we can do anything on strategy. I'm not going to mess around here. We'll trust what the game has to say. Apparently no more rain, so let's see what happens.
Deja vu here, but there's a good opportunity to get this start spot on. Come on.
Right then, another race start. Track still damp. It's another bad start, but Norris has a bad one. Verstappen gets an incredible launch. Oh my god, contact. Verstappen's in deep at turn 1. We're going to get squeezed. Alonso into second. And we've got Leclerc inside. Track is way drier than it was, but it's still intermediate. Another bad start. I just can't find any traction on the inters. I think Norris has got damage, so this could be interesting. I did see some debris. I wasn't sure what car. Let's see if we can try and set up the exit here. Never mind. Hey, I just get really good traction. Just like on the race start, we've got Perez behind us now. Into the hairpin. Let's try and get the exit again set up if possible. Hey, I just get really good launches. Even on the curb, they just traction up really well.
It's still not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
Verstappen trying to go through on Norris. Norris with increased top speed, of course, with wing damage. But Verstappen does go through. Russell holds the lead. Alonso second. Now Verstappen's third. We have to try and get through, but wing damage doesn't affect your traction. So Norris is still an issue for us. I thought about that. Could have maybe gone for that on Leclerc, to be fair. Didn't really set the corner up right. I wonder if now we might actually go dries. 4 laps of racing. Norris understeering extremely wide there. Let's try and get him if we can, unless he pits. No, he stays out. Right, come on then, we need this exit. It's not great. Battery on. Big send. Just got to get through here before the S section, which we pull off. So P5.
Green flag.
Another yellow further back. Bit of an issue at turn 1. Multiple cars collected. Looks like, well, there's a lot of cars in that melee, whatever happened there. Track is now drying quick, rain has stopped. No safety car of VSC this time though. Oof. I just can't get that rear end traction and grip like the AI do, even in these conditions. So I think the race is dry, which will definitely help us. We are not really on the pace in the wet around here. Verstappen setting the pace quite a bit quicker, but will he have enough time to catch Alonso and Russell? We'll find out. I feel like it might be dries on the last lap of the race. We go purple, so finding a bit of pace now, but we're too far back. It might go dries in the very last lap, and we might see some DRS. No one's going to go dries now, it's not worth it, so we're all going to get to the end on the inters. That's part of the reason why I'm struggling so much. My back end's just floating all over the place, even in the wet. I just don't have a stable rear. The setup I have on is purely for dry, so it's just not working in these conditions. Yellow flag. Oh my god, Verstappen's gone round. That's a big one. That could be huge for the title.
Clear.
Oh my god, Verstappen with a second mistake in 2 races. That is huge. And he's still facing the wrong way. He hasn't got going. Well, this will do us. This is a great result now. Outscoring Max. We'll take this. Well, it looks like Alonso is going to win the sprint. He's managed to nick it from Russell.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
So there's DRS enabled, as I expected. We're not quite going to get Leclerc. Just didn't quite have the pace. We're going purple right now, but the track's getting faster. Alonso wins. Russell second. And we're going to finish P4, we'll take it. That's huge for the title. Now a huge result in the sprint race. Verstappen making that critical error. We will take that. That is a really good result for us. And we can now carry that momentum with some positive, also rating improvements into the main qualifying.
The party in the USA continues right now. The Circuit of the Americas, undulating, high speed, downright thrilling. It is time for qualifying to set the grid for the Grand Prix.
Here we go then, soft tyres straight away in our regular Q1 session, and of course normal qualifying, but we are limited on tyres. Essentially one fresh set per session is kind of what we're looking for here. So purple in sector 1, decent start to the lap, bit of a lock up there at the end of the back straight, but we do get the car stopped and keep it within track limits. 1 minute 0.7 split, as now Piastri does get out of the way into the double lefts. And now through the final corner, closing out the lap, we are going to set a 1:30.5 straight to the top. And it seems like the pace is a bit slower compared to sprint qualifying. I mean, we're on softs, and I was doing, a 0.7 on mediums, and the pole time in SQ3 was a 1:30.1. So we'll see if the track ramps up. As you can see, Verstappen 1:30.8 going quickest in Q2. This is now another fresh set of tyres, so we're kind of, looking to level up here and find more pace. Not using overtake as always, only hot lap. We did a 1 minute 00.7 in the split in Q1. In Q2, we're going to be setting a 1 minute 006, so a tenth quicker, and purple again through sector 2. So finding more time, now making our way into sector 3 and now through the very slow bits, looking to close out the lap as we head through the triple right-hander, the inverted turkey almost corner, and now through the final 2 bends, throw the car in, clip the curb, track limits right on the white line, and now the final corner, bit of a correction again, they're going in a bit too early. I'm struggling with that corner and the balance of the car, but we do go quickest, a 1:30.3, and again laying down the benchmark. The AI very conservative once more, like in SQ1, SQ2, so I'm going to expect them to ramp it up like they did in SQ3, but I could be wrong. Either way, the surprise here, Perez out in P12 and Tsunoda getting in the V-carb. So again, a bit of a surprise elimination. Like Piastri in SQ1, Perez falls in regular Q2. So a minute to go, time for Q3, one and done, a single flying lap. Let's get into it, let's see how it goes. I'm not sure what to expect lap time wise. Either way, let's try and maximize this single flying lap.
Okay, good job, mate. Really, really well done. That was a fantastic drive. Bring it home.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A 1:29.9. The AI were just nowhere. I don't know what happened, but they were way quicker in sprint qualifying when Russell did a 1:30.1. But we do drop below a 1 minute 30, and we drop 7 tenths to the next car and a second on our teammate's forehead. So a really, really good session and a dominant session. But I don't think it tells the true story of the pace of the AI because we weren't that quick. Either way, it's time for the race.
F1 is so popular in these parts now that we race here 3 times a year, but let's give full respect to COTA, or the Circuit of the Americas if you prefer, which laid the foundations for it. It still remains the United States Grand Prix. We're racing then today in Travis County, Texas, around the 20 corners of the wonderful Circuit of the Americas. We'll be reaching speeds around 200 miles per hour here today, and there are plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the 2 DRS zones into Turn 1 and the long back straight into Turn 12. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc, Stroll, Sainz, Tsunoda, Gasly, Perez, Ocon, Albon, Bottas, Ricciardo, Zhou, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Sargent, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Joining me for this one is Naomi Schiff. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race. But I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
Here we go. Time for the main event. After sprint qualifying, sprint race, qualifying, we finally arrive at the main part of the weekend. Now, as you know, in the sprint, Verstappen had that big moment which gave us a few extra points in the championship, and suddenly things are really heading in our favour. A win today, a win right now would just be the cherry on top of the cake. So let's try and hopefully achieve that goal. We seem to have decent pace in the dry, not so much in the wet. Now, there's no rain forecast in this race, so on paper, this should hopefully work our way. One stop, medium to hards, very simple, straightforward, and the kind of traditional strategy in this game. And also, of course, we do have, I'd say, a bit more calmness knowing that Verstappen isn't in second place. So let's get into it and let's see what happens. It's a long race, I'm going to be patient. We know we've got a good car, so let's make sure we get the W. Hopefully the car survives. Here we go. Decent temperature in the tyres, everything looking good to go. Let's try and scrub these to 80 if possible. Hopefully we get a good start. That's been something we've struggled with in the sprint, albeit in the wet, but we'll see how a dry weather start goes. Uphill start, racing line. Let's get it. Here we go. Lights on. Revs perfect. Away we go. It's another average start. Norris with the jump. Going to try and go around the outside here and re-challenge, but we're running out of road. Norris Alonso through. Russell overtakes Verstappen crucially, but we drop to third. Just can't seem to get a good start here for whatever reason. Either way, again, it's a long race. We're ahead of Max. That's what matters. So let's see now. In theory, my dry pace should be good. I mean, it isn't qualifying. Maybe in race pace doesn't translate. I mean, at the minute, I'm struggling to find grip again. Even though we've got the tyres nicely up to temperature. I'm in a bit deep there. Back end fighting me on the way through. Let's just try and see if we have decent straight line speed here. Yep, we'll be okay. Alonso on Norris for P1. Easy does it. Brake a little bit earlier just to make sure there's no sudden braking. Front wing is precious in these moments. They're still going for it. And now Alonso gets in front and takes the race lead. So not a good first lap, but not a disaster. As Verstappen did lose a place, so we're still ahead of him. Alonso's a bit of a sit and duck here as Norris goes through with DRS. Thought about it, but Alonso did half cover the inside. These two will keep swapping, likely with DRS. So it's going to be tricky to get both at the same time. We'll try and find a spot where they're a bit slow to try and make an overtake. Oh boy, these two are going side by side through the S's. They're really going at it. I don't have a ton of pace in this first sector to kind of get really close to them. We're a bit better in the second half of the lap. But you want to be good for the first to basically be close for the back straight, which is sort of a bit of an Achilles heel for me right now. Bit too much of a corner cut there. Overestimated. You know, the amount of understeer I'd have into that corner. We actually got the front to work quite nicely. So first warning. Should be okay.
Okay, Lewis, Alonso's ahead of you. We don't want to let this hold us up too long, so do your best to get past and get on with the race.
I'll see what I can do. And the minute, I just feel like I said, I just can't quite get close enough in certain points. Oh, Norris locks up. Oh my god, I thought I was going to lose my wing. I had to get out of that. I couldn't turn the wheel anymore. I didn't know if Norris was going to cut across me, but Alonso into P1. Norris now P2. Crucial we don't lose any positions. Norris straight back through, wasting no time. He's definitely got a bit more pace than Alonso. Alonso can't really hold the lead. So Norris is probably the one to watch for the win today. Yellow flag.
Green flag.
Who is it? Just a bit further back. It's not one of our rivals. I think it's an Alpine. Yeah. Pierre Gasly out. This is the closest we've been to Alonso. They've been battling, and we've closed up in this final sector. We might have a shot. Or not, he's got battery on, so it might be tricky. No idea where to brake.
Oh, great stuff. You hit that target. Really good job.
Like, oh, damn it. Why did the AI brake? Why did the AI brake like that? Oh, right, well, damage, and we're probably going to have to box. So, this is bad news now. It's bad enough that I can't stay out. I'm going to have to take a wing. So, the good news is that we can still one-stop this with a hard tyre, but we're going to be bleeding time throughout this lap. Just got no front end at the minute. Okay, or back end apparently. Let's box.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
Right, hard tyres. We'll confirm a wing. Taking no chances with the game not changing my wing. And just take it easy here. The AI are battling a lot. Alonso, Norris are battling a lot, and you can see the way they're battling now, Stroll and Leclerc. So even if we box them for a wing change, we'll get clean air, so we'll get a chance to hopefully undercut away into this. They should box around that 12 to 14, 15, so it will give us time. Oh my god, I've got no front end. I've got nothing through here. Front end just isn't working. It's okay for the left-handers, even though it still struggles, but the right-handers are horrific. Right, let's not speed. Don't want a penalty now on top of this. Easy does it. Right. Could have been a lot worse. Alonso brake checking me there. Not ideal. Anyway, let's forget about it. We've got a healthy lead in the championship. Verstappen's not winning, so let's just focus and get back in this race. Come on, boys. Need a smooth stop here. 7.7, standard. Right. So we'll be at the back, and we've got a mountain to climb, but it's doable. We've got no fresh tyres left, so this is it pretty much.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Right, this is usually a better race tyre for me, and we're also quicker compared to the AI on this tyre. I like this tyre, so let's get to work and let's see how she feels. I'm just going to leave it in hot lap mode, basically, and trust the car to work and perform. These tyres are now working pretty well. We've got them fired up, like in practice. We're doing the race runs, and now we're cooking. Not a fastest lap of the race, partly because we don't have DRS in the pit straight or the main straight, but we're setting a personal best, and that's a decent lap to be fair with a purple final sector. There we go. A tenth and a bit quicker. This time we go purple, but we're now catching traffic, which might make things a little bit awkward for our progress.
Okay, Lewis, let's try and climb up the order. I'm setting you a new target. Push, push.
We'll get that hopefully on this lap. thought about it into there, but I don't want to get damaged or risk my wing again. We'll go through here though.
Yes, mate, we hit the target. Nice work.
Just more grip, more power, more downfalls compared to these guys, of course. Still no pit stops. Well, I'll say that actually. One of the Sauber cars is in, so that's Bottas in the pit lane. Let's try and get Magnussen. Brake early, don't want to run into the back of Ricciardo. It's what I did in the move against Alonso. I didn't want to brake too late in case I hit Norris, but in a flat out corner Alonso decided to brake. Anyway, Ricciardo's next. We've got way more grip. No, not going to risk that. Just going to wait. We'll get him down to the hairpin. There we go. That should be an easy move. Straight line the braking, open up the corner a bit so we can still get a good exit, and we can probably get Joe and Sargent here 2 for 1. Use all the battery. We'll go to the outside, that's the better line. Thank you very much. And there we go. Cars in the pits. Russell stays out, he's the only one. Alonso, Verstappen, Norris all pit. On to hards. Have we done enough? Let's use some battery. I think we have. Yep. There's Alonso and there's Norris, all leaving the pit exit. So we've managed to undercut our way into the net race lead. And you can see we have around 10% tyre wear. So we're going to be okay for the time being, but we will have a deficit as the race goes on. We're going to notice it more and more. Still half a race to go. So now it's about trying to manage that tyre wear, which I knew was going to happen. Norris, to be fair, is actually already on the pace here and within my DRS. I don't know if I really want to be, pulling these guys along. I don't think I'll have the pace, or at least I don't think it's worth me killing my tyres off even more. I think I'll be more comfortable just sitting behind and being patient. So I think we'll wave Norris by here. Alonso's not close enough, so Norris should go through. We'll knock it into none to let him get ahead. And let's see if we can try and hold this for a good 10 laps or so. And now the remaining cars in the pit lane, including George Russell. Let's see if he rejoins anywhere near. Oh wow. Russell's actually pulled off a bit of an overcut here. Hang on a minute. Contact between Russell and Norris. Russell going for the race lead. So Russell pulling off a really good overcut actually. And gets himself ahead of us. Fair play. Don't mind that. Let's see what kind of pace George has. I'm not going to go for a move on Russell. I'm happy to just sit behind. He's got fresher tyres, so if Russell can win the race, that's huge for the constructors. Alonso having a bit of a look there. I almost turned out of that. I got a bit scared for a second because that red arrow stayed red for a bit more than I wanted. Second warning, 10 laps to go. Got to be very careful now. Track limits. I'm starting to struggle now a little bit on tyres. I'm feeling it. I think we're in the 20s. Yeah, left rear just gone 20. Starting to struggle for traction. Also getting a bit of understeer. Front end not quite working. Alonso getting close here. Russell into the lead.
Okay, Lewis. Okay, George is ahead of you. Right, here we go. Let's look to get past quickly and put them on the back foot.
I don't know if we're going to hit that objective. I don't really want to pass George at the minute, to be honest. That was a poor exit from us. I don't have a lot of battery. I'm trying to run medium to save. Luckily, we've got really good straight line speed, so I'm able to keep Alonso at bay as long as I have battery. Oh my god.
Nice work, you smashed it. Really good job on hitting that target, mate.
I thought it was going to happen again. Oh my god. Whew. I thought I was going to lose my wing. That was a scary one. We've lost the RS to Norris. That moment just cost us there, but I'm just glad we've still got a wing. I might be under pressure here though. In trouble. I don't really have a lot of battery. I've got nothing. So I might be a sitting duck. Yeah, I'm a sitting duck. I've got 11%. So Russell goes straight back through. Please don't scare me again like that, George. Bloody hell. Traction just isn't good now. We've got battery though to fight this, and I won't say get back ahead, but just keep Alonso behind. We might need to use George here to basically stay ahead of Alonso and crucially Verstappen. Track limits. Oh my god. Oof. I feel like I'm starting to struggle now. I'm trying to save battery. Just can't find any traction. I've got enough battery here to keep Alonso behind. I could pass Russell, but I sort of need him to basically have DRS to defend against Alonso. He's getting really close now. Every single lap. I just can't get any traction out of the hairpin. Big mistake. I thought I was alright, I put the power down a bit too soon. I needed Russell for DRS, and I don't think I'm going to get him. Well, I mean, I know I'm not going to get him, but... Oh my god, I don't have a lot of battery either. For some reason, the car doesn't recharge in that last sector. Alonso's going to go, we're using everything. I just don't have anything to fight with. Verstappen to the outside. Or just stay in front. I'm really struggling with traction. My tyres ain't super worn, I don't have anything. I struggle as well through the hairpin, exit onto the back straight. Ooh, a little bit out of shape. Last lap of the race. Come on, we can't lose DRS with Alonso here. The AI should be low on battery. They usually are on the last lap, they tend to flash. We can repass Alonso. We're good through the S's, it's the traction zones I can't get the car to work. Max is close. Let's try and sell the exit one last time. I'll do. We might have a chance at Alonso. Yep, he's got no battery. Look at this. Easy as you like. Straight into third. Let's try and hang on to this now. Hey, I always run out of battery one lap too early. Okay, why is that happening then? I just can't find any traction at all. Still, we're going to be okay, I think. We're hanging in there. Norris is going to win it. Taking a defensive line. And that'll do. P3, good recovery, good survival. We outscore Max again.
We work with the good help and strategy. So close, good so far. Let's keep pushing. Thanks to all the supporters out there.
Corner for the last time. Lando Norris is victorious.
Such an important victory at this stage of the season. Any points you can achieve to go towards the table is really going to mean a lot to the team. So well done as they prepare for the end of the season.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
So, race done in Kota. A really good result, to be honest, considering the circumstances. We'll take that. I was really struggling with tyres in that second part of the stint, and we just had to hold on. We had to use Russell for DRS and then use Alonso for DRS to basically stop the cars behind from going through, because I just couldn't get the traction in the last corner and the hairpin, so I was constantly exposed. Either way, we had good straight line speed, so that always does help. But either way, George Russell, your highest point score of the weekend, so a good weekend for George. And it's worth noting, Sergio Perez only scored 4 points, so Drivers' Championship aside, this is a massive race for the Constructors' title. Now, in the Drivers, we extend our lead over Verstappen to 38 points, Russell up to 5th with that weekend's work, and then in the Constructors, we are now 62 points ahead of Red Bull, and suddenly we look favourites for the Constructors' Championship. Further down, Aston Martin, McLaren locked in, closing in on Ferrari. As you saw all weekend, Alonso and Norris was super fast, and Ferrari, based off the performance chart, are dropping, so we'll see how that affects things next season. Either way, guys, we're close. We're taking a step closer to number 8. Could it happen this season? Who knows? Either way, guys, that is going to be it for this video. On screen now, you're going to have the post-race fallout with the driver rating. We've recently went to 92, so we're now going to make our way to 93. Could we hit that before the season closes out? I think it's possible. Also, our stats now looking really good. Our experience is almost maxed out. And then also, our rivalry with Verstappen is almost done. I think we're nearly there. So we just need a handful more points to basically confirm the rivalry victory. And then, of course, our specialist, we're very close now to also hitting some decent levels on a lot of different departments. So yeah, guys, that's it from me here today. Like, subscribe, and let's try and smash over 1,000 likes. If you're new to the channel, then please do subscribe. As always, guys, a big shout out to the members of the channel. Check out the links down below to discounts and affiliate codes and the videos on screen right now. And yeah, guys, I'll see you soon. Take care, and that's goodbye from me.